Shah Baraka Thumb. My brothers, Yahweh Shemal, the Thun, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, the sisters. I'm preaching officer of 5,000 Macabre Israelite School at UPK. Alright. We're going to spark this thing off momentarily. Meanwhile, make sure y'all post y'all questions in the chat. I'm just going to check some things out online. And, you know what I mean? Like I said, once again, we'll begin momentarily. But in the meantime, make sure y'all do that. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. But bear with me 1 second. Alright? And, swear. Yeah. No sweat. Alright. In there. Alright, Rock doing this thing. His 1-2 Doug Dizzle in the chat. You know what I mean? So also, on another note, you know what I mean, if you a brother or sister and you trying to get your Hebrew name or something like that, definitely make sure, that you fill out that make sure you fill out the attendance sheet. Alright? Fill out that attendance sheet, get solid, get locked in, get your Hebrew name, get up in this truth, alright? Start doing that thing like we supposed to get it. Alright? No sweat. So I got that thing up on the Facebook. Let me just slide over to the the YouTube real quick. Slide over to the YouTube or what have you. And we rock this thing up. Alright? No sweat. Down. Tuck that. You just tuck that down right quick. Right? Boom. Boom. Right. Alright. Come up off that. Come up off that. Alright, no sweat. Alright, no sweat. So, like I said, once again, man, you already know ISUPK 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. You know what I mean? We've been dropping this truth since 1969. You know what I mean? All across the planet Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? City to city, we've been getting it in and teaching the truth according to the Bible. And one major thing that has been neglected that is absolutely necessary and it's vital to get an understanding on is brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? As y'all might know, brotherhood is one of the greatest commandments. You know what I mean? Brother asked Christ, what is the greatest commandments? He said, fear the Lord with all your heart, mind, body, soul. Paraphrasing, of course. And secondly, love your brother as yourself. So with that, we're going to get into it, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it. We're going to show, you know, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians what love actually is. You understand? We're going to show our people what love actually is, how you maintain brotherhood or what have you. And, yeah, so with that being said, we're going to jump straight into it. Actually, I'm going to get the scriptures. You know what I mean? Get that sword out. You know what I mean? We're going to spark it off in Matthew 18, and we'll start at verse 15, all right? And then once again, if y'all got any questions on the subject, go ahead, Bubba Gashar, put them in the chat, and I'll definitely get at them things for y'all, all right? So, once again, Matthew, let's see where we at. I know we like to jump straight into it. Alright, if there ain't no questions, I'm gonna jump straight in this thing and get it rocking, alright? Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15. Alright? Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, right? Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass, so if thy brother, meaning who, right? So this is Christ, and this is a message that is specifically directed towards so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. All right, he's saying if your brother shall trespass against you, who is your brother? Your brother is another so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. You know what I mean? Whether you a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? What pertains to a man pertains to a woman in this regard. All right, so he's saying, if your brother shall trespass against you, what does the trespass mean? The trespass means like if they offend you. You know what I mean? So if you offended for whatever reason that you may be offended for. Now, does the trespass have to necessarily mean that, you know, someone broke a law or something like that? No, it doesn't have to mean that somebody broke a law. All right? So it doesn't have to be that somebody trespassed against the law, that they broke a law. But the only thing that is what this is talking about is, you know, if somebody offended you in any way, you understand? It doesn't matter if it's lawful, unlawful, or what have you. But if somebody offended you in any way, all right, and that somebody, you know, being Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, they offended you. So let's say somebody said something on Facebook, and you think that somebody that was saying something on Facebook was saying that something about you. You understand? And when you read that thing on Facebook that, you know, you perceive to be directed towards you, you perceive to be a subliminal message, right? When you read that and you felt some type of way about it, you know what I mean? This is talking about that thing. You understand? Or let's say somebody looked at you a certain way. You know what I mean? It may have been a brother or sister. They looked at you a certain way, and you didn't really like the way that they looked at you. You know what I mean? You were offended in the way that they looked at you. Now it's not unlawful to look at somebody, you know, certain type of way. You know what I mean? But if you felt some type of way when you received that look, then by all means, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but you know what I'm saying, this is pertaining to that, right? So this is pertaining to a trespass. If a brother or sister trespass against you, all right, no sweat. Boom. Let's read on. Go and tell him his fault, right? Go and tell him his fault. Meaning what? Go and tell that brother or go and tell that sister that, you know what I'm saying, they fault. Whether it be, you know what I'm saying, let's say the brother did look at you a certain way or a sister looked at you a certain way, go and tell them they fault, right? So what you want to do is, you know what I'm saying, what you want to do is, bear with me 1 second. Hold on. All right. Y'all bear with me 1 second. I'm going to do something real quick. All right. So, like I said, right? Um, so the brother might have looked at you a certain, sister might have looked at you a certain way. What you want to go and do is you want to go and tell them that you felt some type of way when they gave you that look. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do is you want to see that Facebook message and you want to tell them, you know, that you felt some type of way about them posting that Facebook message on the Facebook. All right? And you didn't like the way that it sounded or what have you. But let me see, just make sure. All right. That's what you want to do. Let me see. Hold up. Tell him his fault between thee and him alone. Right? That's the key. That's the key point right here. You want to go and tell him his fault between he and thee alone. Meaning this is a dialogue that's had in secrecy. You know what I mean? This is not an open dialogue that's had for everybody to get up in the mix or nothing like that. You know what I mean? This is something, okay, you know, you felt that type of way, what you want to do is you want to grab that brother or sister. You want to say, let me holler at you real quick, out. Let me holler at you real quick, Agua. You know what I'm saying, sister, brother. Let me talk to you real quick. That's what that means. All right, let me talk to you real quick. You know what I'm saying? You pull them to the side and then you tell them what's going on with you. All right, you ain't got to broadcast it in front of everybody. And furthermore, what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Given the fact that this is supposed to be something that's done in secrecy, is you don't want to go tell the next brother. Can you believe this brother looked at me like that? You know what I'm saying? I can't believe this brother looked at me. I can't believe that sister looked at me like that way. You understand? I can't believe they posted this on Facebook after we talked about such and such. You know what I mean? I can't believe that they did. You don't want to go and start telling everybody, right? Which it doesn't say, when somebody offends you, go and tell somebody else about it. It don't say when somebody offends you, get on Facebook and then you start typing on Facebook in subliminal messages and start saying this about that sister or that brother when you get up on the Facebook. You know what I mean? In response to what you perceive to have been about you. I mean, you might go to that brother or that sister, and then you tell them that, you didn't like what they posted on the Facebook about you, and then they tell you, oh, nah, man, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about such and such because this had happened to me, and then, I was just putting it out there to let everybody know that. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing that was even about you. You know what I mean? And then you wind up looking slow, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't go tell everybody, man. Especially if you're a brother now, right? If you a brother, to go and tell another man about what has transpired between you and another brother is a feminine quality, man. And the scriptures say the feminine shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So don't let nothing happen to you and then you go start telling somebody else. Salaki, you go start telling somebody else about it because when you do that, you are being effeminate. You understand? You're not being a man. You know what I'm saying? You got to man up and you want to go tell that brother what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it be between the whole goddamn world and you know what I'm saying? The brother is absolutely clueless as to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He don't even know that he offended you in the slightest or she don't know that she offended you in the slightest. Instead, you on a Facebook playing subliminal message games. You understand? You on a Facebook playing stupid, simple subliminal message games, which is absolutely stupid and childish. You know, man, you gotta grow up, man. Don't get caught up on all the little, the petty little antics or what have you. You know what I mean? Don't go tit for tat. Don't render evil for evil. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going tit for tat. You do something, I do something back to you. You do something, I do something back again. You know what I mean? That's not how we operating up in here. You know what I mean? You make sure you go handle that thing. Handle it like the scriptures say. Let's read. Between thee and him alone. Alright? If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Now let's say, okay. So let's say when it say if they hear you, you have gained your brother, right? Meaning that they acknowledge that they was wrong. So when they posted on the Facebook and they said something and you thought it was subliminal, and then you went and you checked them on it, and they was like, yeah, that was directed at you out. That was directed at you out, Agua. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. You know what I mean? My bag. You know, on that note. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do it again though. You know what I'm saying? Nope. I won't do it again. You know what I mean? I apologize for that. You know what I'm saying? They acknowledged that they was wrong. Salaki. They acknowledged that they was wrong. Then now, you know what I'm saying? You gain your brother or your sister. Now it ain't. It's nothing. There's no other extent to take it to. All right. So you don't want to keep You don't want to keep dwelling on it neither. You know what I mean? If the brother or sister acknowledged that they was wrong, then you know what I'm saying. Accept that. It's your responsibility to accept it. You know what I mean? You did your part initially by going to them and letting them know what the problem was you know what I mean, that let them know what exactly offended you, and they did their part, and come on, dog, they did their part, and hold on, bear with me 1 second, man. God damn, Mark, you understand? I need to calm that shit down, Salakia. You know what I mean? Funny shit, Salakia. Man, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, like I said, right? So you want to let them know exactly what's going on. All right? So I'm going to read it one more time from the jump. Salakia. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. All right? So if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. That's exactly what that means. They acknowledge that they was wrong. So that's one way that it can play out. One way it can play out is you go to them, you tell them what offended you, and then once you find out once they find out what offended you, you know what I mean, and everything is processed, and the conclusion of the matter becomes, all right, Salakia. You know what I mean? Meaning the brother or sister ultimately apologizes for what they have done. All right? They apologize for how they have offended you, and, you know, that's how it plays out. So let's read on, because that's just one aspect, that's just one probability in this case. Let's read on. But if he will not hear thee, so now, if he will not hear thee, so let's say, the brother or sister said, I didn't post that on Facebook about you, I didn't post that on Facebook about you, sis. You know what I mean? That wasn't intended for you. You know what I mean? That was never intended to be for you. You know what I mean? It wasn't inspired by you or nothing like that. All right? This is something that I posted because, I felt such and such a way. So what, I'm not gonna apologize for something that I did not do. All right. So now we got different ways that it could play out. So let's read on. All right. Then take. Hold on 1 second. Then take with thee one or two more. Then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. Right? Meaning what? Meaning that we have a system inside of the UPK, right? One that is holy and biblically sound. You know what I mean? The system that we, observe and employ today in the UPK as it pertains to conflict resolution. All right? We have one that is absolutely biblically inspired, you know what I mean, and functions, flawlessly. All right, and what happens is, if it's not resolved, if the problem is not resolved when you go to that brother or that sister alone, and y'all tell them, you tell them what exactly has offended you. You know what I mean? If they don't hear you, then now we go to the next phase of judgment. All right? So there's 3 phases of judgment. That was phase 1. That's what should always be done in any matter. Any matter where a party has been offended. Okay? When someone has been offended, this should always be the first phase. You go to that brother or that sister alone, and then you communicate what is troubling you. All right? You communicate it to them, and then now it's that brother or sister's duty to either acknowledge that they were wrong or decide to take it to another extent. Meaning decide to take it to the next phase of judgment, which is what we're about to get into right now. All right? So, I'll read it one more time. Okay, verse 16. But if he would not hear thee, Salakia, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. All right. So now, what is this talking about? This is talking about a minor council. Now, a minor council is had. Okay. So now the parties involved in this minor council would be the alleged offender, the offended, the camp leader over that zone, and a general would take part in the council. All right. So now that's what it's saying. Now we progress to a minor council that every word may be established. You tell your side of the story. They tell their side of the story. You know, every word is being established. We're hearing the generals, the camp leaders, everybody's hearing what's going on. You know what I mean? And you know, it's being judged. All right. This then becomes judged by the camp leader and the general that takes part in that council. Okay? So now, and if he shall no sweat. Let's read on. And if he shall neglect to hear them, now if he shall neglect to hear them, meaning what? Meaning there was a minor council that was there was a minor council that was held, you know, specifically for this particular offense, right? Between this brother, this, you know, whoever, you know what I'm saying? These two, the offender and the offended, right? There was a minor council held for the offender and the offended, all right? And the offender now, right, has already neglected in the first phase, has already, you know, neglected that they were at fault. Okay? Now, it has been taken to the second phase. Okay? So it's been taken to the second phase, and yet again, the offender in this case has yet again neglected to acknowledge that they were wrong in the matter between the offender and the offended. All right? No sweat. So let's read on. And if he shall neglect to hear them, so meaning he shall neglect to hear the camp leader and the general who determined that the offender was wrong. You know what I mean? Who said, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, that brother, that sister, they do got a point. You know what I'm saying? You know, you was wrong in this matter. You was wrong in this matter, sis. You know, so be it. Let's read on. And with that being said, they still didn't want to. They still didn't want to acknowledge it, right? So, tell it unto the church. So now, when they say tell it unto the church, now what is that talking about? Now, because it has been, because it's been, because it's been unable to be resolved in the first and the second phases of judgment. Now we uh, 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 now we proceed to the third phase of judgment. The third phase of judgment is to bring it unto the church. Now, what exactly does that mean when it says bring it unto the church? You know what I mean? It ain't talking about go to TD Jakes or Creflo Dollar or nothing like that. You know what I mean? When it says bring it unto the church, what that's talking about is to bring it before the whole nation. Now, this matter becomes, you know, now this matter is brought before the whole nation, you know what I mean, in order to determine who is right and wrong in this case. All right? Let him be unto thee. But if he neglect to hear the church, Now, let's say that, you know, the matter has been brought before the whole nation. The whole nation has determined that the offender was wrong in their actions, right? The offender was wrong in their actions, and uh, that was the verdict. You know what I mean? In the last phase of judgment, and the verdict came from the whole nation. All right. And when the verdict came from the whole nation that the offender was in fact wrong, right? Let's read on. If he neglected to hear the church, right? He still neglected. He said, so the brother went to him, he said, nah, I ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying? He brought it to the minded council, he said, nah, I ain't wrong. It got brought before the whole nation, he said, nah, I ain't wrong. You know what I mean? And so now that it's been brought before the whole nation, he still is unwilling to acknowledge the fact that he was wrong. Okay? Now, in such a case, this is how you would handle the situation. Let's read on. Let him be unto thee as a heathen man. Let him be unto thee as a heathen man. What is a heathen man? A heathen man is someone who is not an Israelite. Okay? So someone who's not an Israelite, someone who is not a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? Someone who is not so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Right? That's what it means when it says, let him be as a heathen man. Right? I mean, why does it say that? Because there's ways that, okay, Israel doesn't, Israel as a nation that encourages brotherhood. You know what I mean? It promotes brotherhood. It makes sure that brotherhood lives, amongst us. All right? There's a certain way that we live like that. There's certain things that we don't do to each other that we would do to a heathen, right? Like, let's say, for instance, if you found, now, of course, now you ain't gonna find nothing like this now, you know what I'm saying? Because like that, I would have you, and there's nobody's really, breeding their own cattle, you know what I'm saying? But, a biblical reference would be where you could, meaning you come across an animal in the field. Let's say you went to the woods or something like that or something. You know what I mean? You went to the woods, you walking in the woods, and as you walking, you see a deer laying dead in the woods, and you don't know how that deer don't got no, he don't got no arrow marks in him or nothing. He don't got no arrow sticking in him or nothing like that, or no bullet holes in him, or he don't got a knife cut, or you know what I'm saying? He don't got no teeth marks in him from another animal or something like that. You know what I mean? You are unable to discern how this animal has died, right? You know what I mean? Meaning this animal died, and you cannot, accurately discern how this animal has died, right? It could be from some type of illness or something like that. You don't know, right? You come across that animal, you are not allowed to sell that animal to another Israelite. You know what I mean? You are not allowed to get that to the brother next door, the Benjamite next door, the Levite next door, nothing like that. You can't do that. All right? But if you do find an animal that dies like that, what you could do is you can give it to the Arabs. You can give that thing to an East Indian. You can give it to the Chinese man. All right? Meaning that's how we deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not gonna get this to a brother, man. I don't know how this died. You know what I mean? I care about, what I'm saying, my brother's health, his well-being. You understand? This other cat, however, you know what I'm saying? Listen, they eating dogs anyway. You understand? They eating bats. They eating chameleons and snakes and things like that. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to die or nothing like that, but shoot, man. Israel don't get down like that, but the way they get down, this right here will be a treat for them. You know what I'm saying? So hit that off with them cats. You understand? We're going to hit it off to them and let them take that. All right? Like, there's ways that we deal with each other. You know what I mean? That promote, encourage brotherhood, and make sure that it lives between all of us, right? You know what I mean? When as it pertains to the heathens, not so much. To the flesh, you know what I'm saying? Not according to the flesh, you know what I mean? But if you want to get real technical, okay, no sweat. However, you know what I mean? That's why it says to treat him like a heathen man. You know what I mean? Because he's nothing like now. A heathen can't come to the Passover neither. You know what I'm saying? You got a high holy day. A heathen can't come to a high holy day. You know what I mean? No heathens are allowed at a high holy day. We don't even acknowledge that he's wrong. Lookouts even. You understand? You ain't saying that's what it's saying. You are not a part of this nation anymore. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you were wrong. You understand? And why is it saying to treat him as a heathen man? Because, this cat that couldn't, humble itself to admit him, he just couldn't humble himself to that point. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he was never a brother. You understand? He was never in that situation just exposed him for who he was. Alright? So, hey, right? Where we at? Shalak. Da-da-da-da-da. No sweats. Ding, ding. Let me see. These are the. Mm-hmm. Salakia, bear with me. And now, Salakia, this is another thing too, right? Just so I don't leave this out. But what I mean, don't leave the truth before you get counsel. You know what I'm saying? Like this is here for a reason. You know what I mean? These three phases of judgment is right here. The purpose that they're here for is to heal. You know what I mean? The Lord is in all of these major and minor councils. You understand? The Lord is here in all of the major and minor councils that take place in the UPK. All right. So, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you get counsel before you decide to leave the truth. Now, just the same way that that brother was never a brother to begin with because he couldn't acknowledge that he was wrong, if you leave the truth without getting counsel or anything like that, you know what I mean, then you proven the same thing. The same principle applies. You know what I mean? You were never a brother to begin with. If you or a sister to begin with, if you know what I mean, something troubles you and versus, calling for counsel or what have you or anything, you just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna leave the truth, man. If you could just leave this truth, then you were never in this truth to begin with. You know what I'm saying? If that's even an option for you to leave the truth, you know what I mean? You were never here from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You were only here but for a season. Camp equipment for the brothers. You know what I mean? You was only meant to read for a season for the brothers. You understand? When we went to camp, you wasn't here when all is said is done. When all is said aside to up and leave the truth, man. Oh man, yeah, that's all you was here for. You was here just for that to get us to them camps. You know what I mean? To help us with the camp funds. You know what I mean? To throw down that little 20 something like that and get us up and jumping and where we needed to be. And you know what I mean? Pay for the gas in the van and get food for the brothers. Or if you could just decide begin with, you know what I mean? Especially when brothers in here have been a brother to you, tenfold over. You know what I mean? Tenfold over. So with that, let's I got that right. Bear with me 1 second. Also, want to do is check things out. Alright, we smooth, no sweat, we smooth with it. I'm gonna hit that one time. Okay. And then on another note, let me get da 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 da. Let me get. All right. Let me get this too. Salaki. Y'all be with me one second. All right. Most High Christ. Most High Christ. Let's go to Matthew the 6th chapter. All right. Matthew 6. Mm-hmm. No sweat. 6 and 6 and 14. All right, no sweat. Salaki. 6 and 14. Let me see if I want to roll up a little bit. Now, this is a heavy thing right here too. You know what I mean? Extra Christian thing too, man. Matthew 6 and 14. All right. You know what I mean? Like everybody. I know a lot of brothers and sisters. They say the Lord's Prayer. They ask the Lord for a lot of things and things of that nature, what have you. You know what I mean? But one of the things, now this just shows the how serious the Christian church actually takes the Bible, right? Because you know, let me just read the scripture. Let me just read it. All right, Matthew 6 and 14. All right, so this is the Lord's Prayer. All right, this is a part of the Lord's Prayer. Matthew 6 and 14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father, Salakia, will also forgive you. Heavenly Father shall also forgive you. You know what I mean? Now, why is this important? This is important because, you can't. Now, let's say the brother acknowledged or the sister had acknowledged that they was wrong in the matter. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may have been, whatever the case may have been, because it can be anything. All right? You know what I mean? It doesn't just have to be Facebook. It doesn't just have to be, uh, you know, let's make it whatever is specific. Whatever has offended you, that's what it is. However, someone has violated you, when you exactly what we talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? Now you go to that cat. You go to that whoever you go tell them what it is, and then when they hear, you know how you feel about what has transpired between the two of you, all right, and that they're wrong. You know what I mean? You can't persist in being angry at them. You can't persist in being angry at them and not forgiving them and saying, "Man, I don't want to hear none of that." You know what I'm saying? You can't go about it in that way. You know what I mean? Because it's this. If we want the Most High, like how in the heck Most High to forgive you, but you can't even forgive. You know what I'm saying? A brother that has offended you. You know what I mean? As if someone who has offended you for whatever they have offended you for is more important than how the nation of Israel has offended the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, how is that? Like, we supposed to, you know what I mean? You all up in the truth. This doesn't happen in the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you can't be in the truth and be like that, man. Because the Most High, how many times we went off on the Most High? You know what I mean? Think about how many times we offended the Most High when we was smoking that pack of Newports and we was smoking all that weed up and we was getting high and drunk and popping whores and what have you. You understand? And being whores and pimping and drug dealing and all of that. You know what I mean? Think about that. You know what I mean? And think about how much that is against the Most High. You know what I mean? Now we've offended the Most High And now, you telling me that a brother or sister that has something on Facebook, you you telling me a brother that has offended you for, you know, looking at you in a certain way, okay? You telling me you can't forgive him for that when the Most High has forgiven you, man? You understand? He's forgiven us for what we done. You know what I mean? The Most High could have just said, hell with Israel. You know what I mean? I'm done with them. They continue to disobey me. Shalom. You know what I mean? That's what the Lord could have said. You know what I mean? The Most High could have said, you know, once you violate me once, that's it. You don't understand? It's time. That's it. It's over. You know what I mean? Like that's what the Most High could have said that. Once you cross me once, oh, that's it. It's over now. You know what I mean? The Lord didn't say that to us. You know what I mean? We out here, wanting them off. It's over for that. Nah, I got to cut them off, man. No more. This why I don't mess with nobody. No new friends. You understand? That man, Most High didn't say that to us. I mean, the Most far greater than anybody could have went off on you. And you sitting down there, we sitting down here praying for forgiveness for all of the evil and wickedness that we doing, and for the evil that you done committed against him. And you asking the Most High, Lord, please forgive me, Lord. And then yet somebody come and they offend you on the street. You know what I mean? They offend you on the bag, sis. You know what I'm saying? Or what happened? What happened? They offend you, and now you unable to forgive them. You know what I mean? You unable to forgive them for that little thing. You know what I mean? That's hardcore, man. In Christianity, man, because you know, my Jesus, and everybody give praise to the Most High with their mouthpiece. You understand? We give praise to the Most High with our mouthpiece. When it comes time to show the action that come with it, you know what I'm saying? It's never, on one accord. It's always the contrary. You understand? Because we talk the good game or what have you. You know what I mean? You say the prayers. You know what I mean? Or you say the Lord's Prayer, night bread. Nah, 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 nah. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Woo, woo, woo. And then at the end of the day, you don't forgive your debtors. You don't forgive the person that Lord, if you asking the Lord to forgive you as you forgive your realistically, like you get caught up in that hypocrisy and that Christianity, and you'll be very unstable with your mental will be very unstable. You know what I mean? That's why that Christianity is very, very, grievous. It's very diabolical, what I mean, by all means. Because, you know what I mean? This, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean? You can tell who you are or what have you like that. You know what I mean? But if your actions don't come with, who you say you are, then that's not who you are at all. So you can claim that you love God. You can claim I'm a woman of God. You understand? I'm married to Jesus. You understand? You can claim all of that. But at the end of the day, if your actions don't align with what you are saying, then it's a lie. You know what I mean? Just like cat in the world tell you, you know what I'm saying, I'm a soldier, you know what I mean? I don't mean what that person does in that moment, that's what makes them who they are. Not what they said they was, you know what I mean, until that thing happened, but what happened, who they was when that thing happened. You understand? You was this and that and all of this and that, but when this, that's what I want to know. Now I know who you are. You understand? Alright? Be a daughter of, when it comes time, when that moment happens, you know what I mean? All of this talking that was good talking, that good talking we was all doing, that goodness, You know what I mean? In the name of Jesus, blood of Jesus, forgive you, grace, mercy. You know what I mean? All that goodness, all that good stuff he was talking. When the time happens, you know what I mean? When that moment comes that's going to define who you are, we see. You understand? Now let's remember that, and if you want to be somebody, that is on the right side of the Most High, then it's going to require to do the blood of Jesus and ooh, ooh. With that being said, your Father forgive your trespasses, and that's the case. That's the point. You know what I mean? Because if you don't forgive men their trespasses, then the Most High is not going to forgive you your. You understand? Every last one of us have trespassed against the Most High. Now, when somebody trespassed, you know what I mean? So, when you was on that block, when you posted up on that block, it's real now. I know a God is real because I should have got locked up. I should have got shot right here. I should have got stabbed right here. I should have got jumped on this corner. You know what I mean? But that thing happened and it didn't happen to me no more. Now, when you on that corner and you should have got jumped, you're going to get jumped now. You understand? Now when you on the corner and you should have got shot, now you will get shot. Most High forbid that you do. You understand? You get stabbed, now you will. You understand? Lord forbid. You understand? And we don't want to see that happen to brothers. But if we merciless to each other, then why should the Lord ever have mercy on us? You know what I mean? It just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like we can't demand something that we don't